They say distance makes the heart grow fonder. For me, distance made the cracks impossible to ignore. I am 27, had been dating my girlfriend of 26 long distance for almost a year. We met through mutual friends at a music festival, 3 days of laughter, sleepless nights, and an intensity that made me believe we could survive anything. When she moved back to her city across the country, we promised to make it work. We FaceTimed almost every night, sent each other care packages, even planned visits months in advance. But there was one thing I hadn't noticed at first, or maybe I didn't want to notice. She couldn't go a day without smoking. At first, it felt harmless. She called it just to relax, something to take the edge off after a stressful day. But slowly, it became every day. Then multiple times a day. Then, every time we talked, she seemed hazy, distracted, her laughter a little too slow, her eyes half-lidded even over video. And one night, during one of our rare in-person visits, I watched her reach for her vape before she even kissed me hello. That's when the thought I'd been avoiding crashed in. She's dependent on this. Maybe even addicted. The breaking point came during a trip I made to see her. I'd saved up for weeks, booked time off work, and flown 3 hours just to spend a long weekend together. I imagined us exploring her city, going out, making the most of every moment. Instead, she spent half the time on the couch, passing a joint between herself and her roommate, giggling at nothing while I sat there like an outsider. The intimacy I craved never came. The deep conversations we used to have were replaced by vacant stares and distracted mums. Even at night, when I tried to pull her close, she smelled more of smoke than of herself. By the second day, frustration boiled over. "Do you even realize how much you rely on this stuff?" I snapped. "You can't go 5 minutes without lighting up. It's like you're dependent on it." The words hung in the air like poison. Her face hardened instantly. "So, what? Now you think I'm some kind of addict?" She shot back. "I didn't say that," I muttered, though maybe I had. "But it's like you choose weed over me. Over us." Her silence after that was louder than any fight. Things only got worse after I flew home. She started dodging my calls. Our texts grew shorter, colder. And then, late one night, I saw something on social media that made my stomach twist. A photo of her at a house party, curled up against some guy I didn't recognize, a joint in one hand, his arm around her shoulders. I wanted to believe it was innocent. But the way she looked at him, the same way she used to look at me, told a different story. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. Instead, she sighed. "You make me feel judged all the time. With him, I can just be myself." Those words cut deeper than anything else, because being herself apparently meant being high with someone who didn't care enough to question it. The betrayal wasn't just the possibility of another man. It was the realization that I had been fighting for a version of her that no longer existed. I wanted the girl I met at the festival, the one who stayed up until sunrise telling me her dreams, the one who laughed until her voice cracked. But now, all that was left was smoke and distance. And as much as it broke me, I had to ask myself, was I really the asshole for calling it out? For wanting a partner who was present, not clouded over? Or was I just the last person holding on to a love she had already burned away? After she said those words, "with him, I can just be myself," I felt the air leave my lungs. For weeks, I had been clinging to the hope that maybe this was just a rough patch, a misunderstanding, something we could fix if we tried hard enough. But in that moment, I realized she wasn't mine anymore. Still, I wasn't ready to let go. Not yet. "Is there something going on between you two?" I asked, voice low, almost afraid of the answer. She hesitated. That hesitation told me more than words ever could. "It's not serious," she said finally. "It just happened. He doesn't judge me. He doesn't make me feel broken." Her words sliced through me. Because wasn't that exactly what I had been trying to do? Not judge, but care. Not control, but want more for her. The days that followed were hell. I'd wake up in the morning and instinctively reach for my phone, hoping for a good morning text, only to find silence. I'd scroll through her social media, torturing myself with pictures of her at parties, glassy-eyed, arms draped over people I didn't know. Every time I tried to call, she let it ring. Sometimes shed text hours later with a dismissive busy, talk later that never came. Meanwhile, my friends started noticing the change in me. "Man, you look wrecked," one of them said over beers. "She's not even here and she's still controlling your life." I laughed it off, but inside, I knew he was right. I was drowning in the ashes of a relationship I couldn't save. Then came the final blow. One night, unable to sleep, I checked her Instagram again. My stomach dropped when I saw a new post, her sitting on a balcony, joint in hand, leaning against the same guy from before. The caption read, "Finding peace in the smoke." And in the comments, a heart emoji from him, and her reply, "Always with you." I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. The betrayal was no longer a suspicion. It was written out in the open, displayed for the world to see. The next morning, I confronted her one last time. "I saw your post," I said flatly. She didn't deny it, didn't apologize. She just sighed as if she were tired of me already. "I told you, he gets me. You don't. You just criticize me, make me feel like a problem." My chest ached. "I never wanted to make you feel like a problem. I wanted you to see how much this was consuming you, how much you were slipping away from me." She looked down, silent. Then, without emotion, she said, "Maybe that's the problem. You want me to be someone I'm not." That was it. The end. I didn't beg. I didn't scream. I just sat there in silence, realizing that the girl I loved was already gone. The weed, the haze, the new guy had all taken her away long before I spoke the words out loud. So I hung up, and this time I didn't call back. The weeks that followed were brutal. Everywhere I looked, I saw reminders of her, the shirt she left in my drawer, the playlist we made together, the photos from our trips. I deleted her number, unfollowed her accounts, but still, she haunted me. At night, I'd lie awake replaying everything, the festival where we met, the laughter, the promises we whispered across miles. And then, the slow unraveling, the smoke curling between us until we couldn't see each other anymore. But slowly, painfully, I began to see the truth. I wasn't the asshole for calling her dependent. I wasn't cruel for wanting more from her, for us. I was just the only one willing to face what she had been hiding. The betrayal wasn't just her leaning on someone else, it was her choosing the haze of smoke over the clarity of love. It was her giving away the parts of herself that I had cherished to someone who didn't care enough to question. And maybe the real betrayal was me, too, for staying too long, for loving someone who had already let go. Months later, I'm still healing. I don't know if I'll ever look at long-distance relationships the same way again. I don't know if I'll ever forget the way she smiled at her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. But I do know this: love is about presence, about showing up, clear-eyed, vulnerable, and real. And when someone chooses smoke over you they were never really yours to begin with,